Erling Haaland is back on the score sheet against Southampton, of course, after laying an egg or eggs in the last couple of match days. And so Salah as well with a very good performance against Arsenal, of course, scoring 1 goal. And who else had a good performance in the last few match days, because it's been a while?
Mbeumo had a good game. We also had Vardiol, for those who doubled up on Man City defenders. So if you had Vardiol keeping a clean sheet, plus bonus points, Rico Lewis, a clean sheet, then we had also Vardy, then we had Wissa. For some reason you had Wissa in your team.
Those players, of course, we've named here, made sure that our fantasy were success in the last few match days, and today we are back in studio, of course, to ensure that we give you some tips and discussions for the next match day, which is match day 10 of the Premier League. And we're back in studio with one and only expert,
Alano.
And so we go again. So maybe just a bit of preview in the last match day. Maybe pick one player or a couple of players who impressed you the most during that match day.
I'll go with Mbeumo. Given that he had 15 points, he had a good game. Then I'll also say for Haaland, I'll not say Haaland had a good game. For the Man City game, they only won 1-0, but it was a match where but we had a number of fantasy players who triple captain Haaland.
Because
unfortunately, if you triple captain him, then he laid an egg.
Of course.
But then if you just captain him, then it was a good outing. But then if because I was thinking before the match, I was thinking to go differential with Mbeumo. I wish I made that decision. But anyway, it's football.
It is what it is. It's football. I particularly think maybe like in terms of individual players who impressed me is Saka, and of course not a very good performance, but him having missed all those games and then coming back and making an impact in a team, of course Arsenal, which hasn't been doing well in a couple of matches. They look like struggling. Of course they drew, but still I think his goal was well taken, and he's one of the players that we as managers should keep a keen eye on.
Yes, exactly.
And there were a couple of also bad performances, especially I think maybe I should mention for one of the big teams, Manchester United. They missed so many chances during the match day 9, and I was just wondering, did they want to sack Ten Hag or something? What's your view on the Manchester United performance?
The Manchester United performance was, I think, for me, I look at it differently. Not as a hater, but I'll just say, I didn't expect much from Manchester, given that they were playing away from home. And given Manchester's recent kind of run of performance, I was not like really expecting a good performance from them. So if you had, and again for that match, the particular match day, not a lot of fantasy Premier League players had players maybe from Manchester.
For sure.
Because I felt like Manchester, as it were, away from home, it was not a good fixture for you to have,
especially against West Ham. West Ham were really struggling, but it wasn't an easy fixture for maybe fantasy managers to have players picked from the team. Anyway, it is what it is, and we're going to be focusing now on the match day 10, which has very good fixtures, as you can see here. And I'm saying very good fixtures because we'll see Arsenal traveling all the way to Newcastle to play Newcastle. Man City are away from home against Bournemouth, and Liverpool host Brighton, as well as Manchester United are going to play Chelsea at home. Spurs will be hosting Aston Villa. These are very interesting fixtures if I think about it. Right? Which fixture is exciting amongst this as a fantasy manager?
As a fantasy manager, I'll say it's going to be interesting in terms of excitement. I think if you're an Arsenal fan or you're a football fan, Arsenal Newcastle is going to be an amazing fixture. Because given the run of form for Arsenal, but they almost, I don't like using almost, but they had a good game. I'll call it relatively good game against Liverpool.
Putting in mind the injuries.
The squad, the injuries, Saka, then also losing Gabriel early in the match through injury. So I feel like Arsenal away at Newcastle, it's going to be a good match. And I think it's a match where we had a lot of people who had lost faith in Saka, but of course he was injured. So if you if you bait him, it's a good match for you to bring him back in the squad. But if you made a transfer out, you might maybe not like really bring him back. You can maybe wait for after the Chelsea match, then you can have him back in your squad. But then again, he'll be a good player to have in your squad.
Well said. I particularly think all these fixtures are very tough for every team. But you know, in terms of fantasy, it goes on with individual brilliance sometimes. And I feel like the best, maybe the most exciting fixture, of course, is I would say Man United versus Chelsea, for the fact that Man United caretaker manager maybe will be in charge, or maybe just before they have been links or talks with the Amorim, the manager from Sporting. So it's an interesting game, but fantasy-wise,
another one, Aston Villa Tottenham.
Aston Villa Tottenham as well.
Because we have a lot of fantasy managers having Rodgers, Watkins, and also Solanke, and maybe Brennan. Is it called Brennan
Johnson? Yeah, because Brennan Johnson has been doing well. He scored in a couple of consecutive matches. Well, so regarding to these fixtures now, I want you to name 3 top midfielders you think will do well in this match day 10.
So for me, I'll look at the fixtures first of all. For me, the one that comes to mind, the first one, I'll go with Mo Salah. So Mo Salah for Liverpool. Then I can, because they have Brighton at home. Brighton this season have been scoring goals, but then defensively they're not that good. But Mo Salah has been on a good run also. So I expect him to score. The other player that I expect to have a good game is Mbeumo. Mbeumo is a good player that is not very expensive. They have an away match against Fulham. Again, Fulham have been good this season, but then they still a likelihood that they're going to concede. Then I also have Saka away at Newcastle. I think this match will even be fitter. Match fitness will be much at a better levels. Then if you want to gamble a bit, you can look at
Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer. They have a match at home against Manchester United. Cole Palmer but Chelsea are not so good at home this season. They have not been that good at home. But it's a good match for Cole Palmer.
For Cole Palmer.
And he's on penalties.
He's on penalties, so he might do something. Well, I think you've mentioned all the midfielders that were on my mind, because according to those fixtures, those are the midfielders that could make a difference for match day 10. How about defenders? So defenders, the usual suspects. Go with Vardiol. Vardiol, I think Vardiol from home against Bournemouth. Is Man City might keep a clean sheet. They've not been keeping most of those, but they might keep a clean sheet. But he's also a threat from goals. Then you can also go to, is it called Ryan Aït-Nouri? Wolves are playing against Crystal Palace at home. That's a good fixture for Wolves, because Crystal Palace have not been on form. Then Saliba, because we are not so sure yet about Gabriel's return from injury. So I think Saliba was going to only miss one match. One or two, I guess. I think it was only because again we have a match today. So if it was two, then it's good to play. You have a cup game in the midweek. So again, Saliba. If you want a defender from Arsenal, it can be, you can go with Saliba. Then you can go, but the only reason I'll not go with Saliba is because of the upcoming fixtures. We have Aston Villa, Chelsea away, then Nottingham. So you can have him after the Chelsea. Aston Villa again? How soon? No, not Aston Villa. Newcastle away, Chelsea away, then Nottingham Forest. So you can bring him in the Nottingham Forest game because it will be at the Emirates. Then the last one, Rico Lewis. If you want maybe another defender for Man City. I think that will be it, because it looks like maybe the teams Man City and Arsenal are the teams that will likely keep a clean sheet. But if for me, I think if I'm going for a defender this time, maybe if I want to make a transfer, thinking this is clean sheet wise, of which we'll come back. We'll come to that later, because I want to ask you some quick fire questions so that you answer them. I'll go for Liverpool, because I feel like Liverpool this season, their defense has been a bit rock solid. If you think about it, they're not conceding many, they're not scoring so many goals, and it looks like there's balance. So if you have maybe money, you'll still go for Van Dijk, although I know Van Dijk is very expensive. No, but if it's Liverpool, you go for a
scoring defender. So if it's Liverpool, the reason why I didn't mention Trent is you'll find that a lot of fantasy managers will have him in their squad
already.
But then if you want to look at a Liverpool defender, Trent will be a good choice, given that in the event Liverpool don't keep a clean sheet. He has better chances of assisting or scoring.
Now, mentioning of Liverpool, we know Alisson is out injured. Do you think managers can gamble as well with the goalkeeper Kelleher? Because we tend to ignore goalkeeping area much, but it's also very important when it comes to fantasy.
You can, but again, you can because again, I'm not so sure about the return
of Alisson.
Yeah. So I don't know. We don't want to transfer a keeper in. Then next weekend, the following weekend, we have to transfer him. But Liverpool have a good run of fixtures. For example, they have Brighton at home, Aston Villa at home, then Soton away. So you can have him if you have him, and maybe Alisson is
returns.
Maybe he's going to return. Maybe in the next 4 weeks or so. It means you are guaranteed that he's going to be in the keeper for Liverpool. Then you can maybe transfer him out when now they face Man City at home.
Nice. How about strikers? We've mentioned defenders people can have in their managers can have in their team. You also mentioned midfielders. How about strikers?
So for strikers, I'll go is very affordable. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but is it Kunha or Kanha?
Kunha
from
Kunha,
Wolves.
Kunha.
Wolves are going to have a good run of fixtures. Crystal Palace at home, Soton at home, then Wolves away, Fulham away, Bournemouth at home, Everton away, West Ham away. Those are good. Those are good fixtures. And if you see, if there's a goal threat in Wolves, it's Kunha.
It's Kunha. Kunha has been scoring. And I think in the last game he also appeared on the score sheet. So the other one will be Chris. Is it Chris Wood? Chris Wood
from Nottingham.
So
because again, I always look at the fixtures and I also look at the kind of form. I think the previous match he scored. I think he scored a goal. So if you look at Nottingham next 3 fixtures, they have West Ham at home, Newcastle at home, then Arsenal away. So if you have him, no need to transfer him out yet. But if you can bring him in, it's okay. Because if you can bring him in, have him for West Ham, Newcastle at home, then now maybe bench him for Arsenal. Then the next fixture is Ipswich at home. Those are good fixtures for him to score. The other one will be Raul Jimenez. Again, another good run of fixtures for Fulham.
You haven't mentioned the usual suspect, Haaland, because everybody has Haaland.
So Haaland, every manager now has Haaland, but for me, I think I'm going to move away from Haaland because Soton,
his output or
Soton was, Haaland is 15 million.
He's 15 million striker valued at 15 million.
15 million. For 15 million, and the past 3 match days is given as
the output has
less points than even Mbeumo or Chris Wood. Then I feel like it's money I can invest somewhere else in the midfield. And if you look at Soton, everyone expected Haaland to, by the first half, at least 3 goals.
Yeah, for sure.
At least 3 goals. But then again, if you look at the fixtures for Man City. Bournemouth away. Bournemouth is not an easy team at home. Brighton away. It's not an easy fixture. Tottenham home. Then Liverpool away. Then Nottingham at home. So Man City are going to have 3 or 4 difficult fixtures. They might end up winning. Haaland might end up now becoming good, but then
you don't want to gamble on it.
If I don't have Haaland in my team right now, then I look to bring in someone else. But if I have him in my team, then I can maybe decide to keep the faith and just have him as.
I think I will speak for the managers who have Haaland, including me, and I'll say keep the faith because they might look like hard fixtures, but he is a difference maker and he could make a lot of difference. So maybe before we go to the quickfire questions, who is going to be your captain?
Fortunately,
you are captain.
Okay, fortunately or unfortunately, I already have Haaland. So, Bournemouth away, I'm foreseeing for some reason Haaland scoring 2 goals. So I'll keep faith in Haaland. But then if you want, Mo Salah can be a good option. Brighton at home, that's a good fixture for him. If you want to go maybe differential, there's not many opportunities for differential this weekend. But again, you can try You can try. You can go differential and go with Saka.
Saka
can easily nick in 2 goals.
Yeah, it's very possible. Now onto the crucial part of quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Arsenal play Newcastle away from home.
Yeah.
Man City play Newcastle, Bournemouth away from home.
Yeah.
Who is most likely to keep a clean sheet?
Man City.
Man City.
Yeah. Arsenal defense is.
Liverpool play Brighton at home.
Yeah.
Spurs play Aston Villa at home.
Liverpool.
Who is most likely to keep a clean sheet?
Liverpool.
You said it before I even finished.
Liverpool. Yeah.
All right. Man United play Chelsea.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic match, of course.
Yeah.
Who between Bruno Fernandes and Cole Palmer is more likely to have a better game or a better performance in terms, or as far as Fantasy Premier League is concerned?
Ice cold Cole Palmer.
Well, that is your opinion, and we are also banking on you watching, especially up to this point, because you are the OG of this show, and you know we love our content. And you can also let us know, especially for the quickfire questions, who you think will keep a clean sheet, because it helps our managers who will be reading through the comments and also wanting to know how they could go about with their match day 10 squads for the Fantasy Premier League. So that is it for us. Before we sign out, we have to see how the Premier League table or our Fantasy Premier League table looks like. And of course, at the top, we have to congratulate Mr. Zion. And as high as Zion, he is number 1 with 584 points. And then we have Felix Golding. I know you know, this name sounds familiar. Yeah. This guy is terrorizing us in all the leagues that we know. And he's number 2. And then we'll only name top 3. Number 3 is B Team, Nick Paul with his squad called B Team, who has 559 points. So we will leave the link of our Fantasy Premier League in the first comment of this video and also in the description section. So keep playing our fantasy, all the best, and that is all from us. My name is Brian.
And I'm Allan.
And this is the Liquid Sports Show.